Hi, Molly. How you going?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. It's a wet day today.
Yes.
Very dark and
But my
drizzly.
dog's dry and your dog's wet. Because my dog had a jacket on.
That's because mine's not a sook.
Mine's not a sook. He's got to go to work later.
Ugh,
You'd be the one going, oh, he smelled in puppy class.
what an excuse. He's right under my feet. I'm going to tread on his nose in a minute.
I think it's Zanny's birthday at the weekend. I think you should buy him a jacket.
I'll have to have a look and see what we can round up.
Zan, do you want a jacket? Yep, he's come racing in from the hall and he's looking at you.
You want a jacket for your birthday? What about a blow dry? You like that? Just give you that. Dry you off.
Anyway, enough about our dogs and their jackets and non-jackets.
And the wet day, what are we talking about today?
Today, we are talking about why your dog will never be like that dog.
What do we mean when we say that?
I think probably where this has come from is we get a lot of people, and it definitely, I mean, I think, you can tell me if you think I'm wrong, but I think for the most part it's unintentional.
Yep.
But we get a lot of people who are, you know, my dog isn't like my old dog, or the neighbour's dog can do this, or my friend's dog does that. And comparing starts to creep in.
Yep.
And I suppose it's a bit of a harsh reality in that your dog isn't never going to be that dog.
No, they're all mainly because they're all individual, but
Yeah.
there's a lot of reasons why it mightn't be like that. But I think, people do, and we do see it over the years in a lot of different, courses or private lessons. And like you said, I don't think people mean to do it. They just don't know what else to. They haven't got any other thing to compare it with, really, have they?
Well, I think it's
That's
human
one of the
nature to
things.
compare
Yep.
as well. You know, we like to generalise things, and probably part of generalising and making connections is comparing things.
Yep.
So, yeah, it's probably part of it. And I mean, the thing we probably should say straight off the top is it doesn't mean your dog isn't ever going to come back on the beach, or it doesn't mean your dog
no.
isn't ever going to do some of these things. It's just that by setting them up with a comparison in your head, you're already going to be starting way behind the 8 ball.
Yeah, that's right. And look, we do compare our dogs, but we do it in a bit of a different way, I think.
I think the difference is we probably do it in an analytical way.
Yes.
Rather than why they wouldn't do things. And I mean, we've said on here before, like if you compared Zanny to Tanner, well, he'd be the worst dog you've ever owned.
Yeah.
You probably would have given him up years ago.
No one's going to be as good as Tanner, but anyway.
Hear that, fox?
Hey?
I said, hear that, fox?
Yeah. No, so, we do. We analyse it a bit more, their differences. But, yeah, a lot of people do. But I guess they haven't got, as we said, we've got a lot of dogs to compare dogs to. We see a lot of dogs. And some people don't know what else to do but say, oh, my last dog didn't do this. They don't understand why their current dog doesn't do it.
Not sure why my dog's looking out the window like he is.
Weird. And a big one, I guess, we hear in puppy class is, my pup isn't toilet trained.
Yeah.
And, it might be 10 weeks old, but my last one did. Or the neighbours down the road, that's a big one. Like, who cares what your neighbour down the road's dog did?
Yeah.
Like, your pup might be smaller, might have a smaller bladder. Might just take a little bit longer. Might do excited wheeze,
Yeah, there's a whole range of things. I mean, we both struggled. Murph struggled.
Yep.
Zan struggled.
And took a while. A lot of that was my fault because it was pouring with rain when I had him at home, and backyard was flooded, and I didn't want to take him out as often as I should, so I didn't really set him up for success.
But Fox was really quite easy.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's because I was with him a lot.
Yeah.
So I could pick up his signs. I could, Murph, I was working full time, so he got used to going outside when he was outside. And then when we were inside, it took him a while, one, to go, oh, well, you've got to actually go out there to do it. But two, his excited wheeze was shocking. And, like, he was doing excited wheeze at 9 months old when he was, like, 30 kilos.
He was a big boy.
Anyway.
So, yes, enough about our dogs. So, yeah, a lot of people do compare. And then you've got the friends that compare, you know, your dog to their dog as well, which isn't always helpful.
No, and I think comparison can be like, well, it's the death of individuality for one, but it can be the death of joy.
Yeah.
Because it's taking out of it. If you're looking, and it brings into focus often when we hear the comparisons, the negatives.
Yes.
Because you're worried about what they're not doing and you stop focusing, on what they are doing.
Not very often we hear a comparison where it's this dog's better than my last dog.
Yeah.
Like usually it's not as good as the last dog.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a really good point. We do usually hear the negatives, but sometimes there's positives, and you need to think about those.
Yeah, there's always positives, not sometimes, always positives. Yeah.
So yeah.
You look like you were going to say something.
Yeah, I was.
Like interesting.
I had something and it's gone.
I think probably you were in a prime spot to be able to compare dogs, if anyone was going to be able to compare dogs with Riley and Tanner, because they were full siblings, just
different litters
that were, 2 or 3 years apart, something like that.
A couple of years, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were. And I think I do use that sometimes in lessons just to get people to understand, even with the same mum and dad, they can be different.
Yeah.
And they were totally different.
They were chalk and cheese.
Yeah, they were. Yeah. So Riley was very I suppose the only difference was that one was a boy and one was a girl.
That's a fairly obvious difference. Although people might not, when we say Riley, people might not realise she was a girl.
Yeah, so
and Tanner can be a girl's name. So yeah, Riley was the girl with the boy's name, and Tanner was the boy with the girl's name.
So Riley was very much an individual, very full on, and Tanner was just very laid back and easygoing, and he was so easy after having Riley.
But what I think's interesting is if you had have got them the other way round, you would have thought Riley was a nightmare.
Probably, yeah, because...
And you would have compared her a lot, to Tanner.
Yeah, yeah. But him being so easy, I think also some things I wanted to do, she was easier because she would present a lot more behaviours. So it just depends on what you want to do, really.
Tanner sort of needed to live now in the world of trading now to we understand a little bit more.
Yeah. But yeah, it is interesting to get two from the same mum and dad, but to be their temperament so completely different, their personality so different. So I think it is very much a good one to compare and say how different they were. But other people, and I guess sometimes people think that their dog's really good, and so they'll go back to the same kennel and get another dog, and again breeder, and then it's totally different. And they struggle to understand, but it's probably a different mum and dad, or different line, or
or just a different pup.
Well, and like for me, Tanner was totally different than Riley, but same mum and dad. So
what I think's interesting is you got the choice with Riley.
I did,
and you got the crazy full on one, and you didn't with Tanner, and you got the laid back chilled one.
Yeah, I did.
But I didn't get a choice with Fox, and I've ended up with the pretty chilled one.
So it's interesting. Yeah, a lot of people go for the ones that I definitely did with Riley. She was the one that took herself off by herself, and I thought for our circumstances at that time of life, where we were, I thought that would be an advantage for us, an advantage for her. So yeah, she taught me a fair bit.
She taught everyone a fair bit.
Yeah,
but it is very easy to slip into comparison.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, and it's not really fair for the dog you've got in front of you.
No, it's not, because you're not looking at their, well, I suppose you're looking at their weaknesses. I was going to say you're not looking at their strengths and weaknesses, but you are just focusing on, like we said, what they're not doing, but you're not seeing them as an individual.
Yeah.
Or as a breed, like comparing breeds can be like comparing apples and oranges.
Oh, yeah, that and some people too do that. Yeah, they get a different breed and then they have different things happen and then they're comparing it to their last dog, which is totally different.
Yeah, it's interesting. When we got Murphy, my dad has owned and bred and showed golden retrievers for a long time, like before I was born. And I think in his head he was thinking, because they look very similar to a Goldie, there was a while where he was like, it definitely doesn't act like a golden retriever. And it's like, no. Now, look, reflecting on it, it's like, no, he never was going to.
No.
Yeah.
Totally different.
Yeah.
And that's a good point, because sometimes we see a lot of breeds that do look sort of similar, but they are totally different.
Yeah.
And the more we go on now, especially when you get some crossbreeds and things like that,
yes,
sometimes they can throw to one side.
And this is, I suppose, especially if you're talking about, let's call them the designer crossbreeds, if we're talking cavoodles, groodles, things like that, you are looking at a much more scattergun of potentially what behaviours you're getting, because you could be getting, you go to a breeder and they'll go, yep, this is fantastic, this is what you want, and you're getting a very golden retriever personality.
Yeah.
And then you go back for the next one and you're getting more of a poodle personality, which can be very similar, can be very different. So it's,
different traits, isn't there? So, and also the different, we see them too in puppy class, and then they'll come back for other, courses, and you see them and, you'll notice they'll be maybe, especially those look a bit more like a golden retriever, or might be a poodle coat or things like that. So, I think you've got to take those things into consideration as well when you're comparing it to other dogs.
I think the other thing too sometimes, which is on the comparison theme, but not necessarily comparing your dog to other dogs, it's comparing your dog to, let's say, who they might used to have been. Or who they were when they were a puppy, and we can get sucked into they loved everyone, they loved every other dog, and now they don't.
Yeah.
So even sometimes comparing the dog to who they were 6, 12 months ago, 2 years ago, is not fair to the dog.
No, because it's probably had over that time lots of different experiences
or lack of experiences.
And those things change their personality, change who they are, just the same as us. And they're a little bit like us sometimes. As you get a bit older, you sort of don't maybe have as many friends as you once did when you were a kid. So dogs can be exactly the same. So they're probably happy with who they are and who they've got as their close friends. And don't need heaps of other people running, or heaps of other dogs running up to them on the beach. So it's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, it is very interesting. I think it's something that people slip into, like we said, unintentionally, without knowing, or having an expectation of what they think. And I think this is, again, something that can set dogs up to fail unintentionally, is you can have a life for your dog in your head.
Yeah.
That, we go to the beach every day, or we go on walks, and
fun
then,
things a lot of the time.
Yeah, or go on heaps of car trips or whatever it might be. And for whatever reason, things might not always fit. You might have to work a bit harder than you did previously to get them to fit. They might not fit as easy as Fred down the road. Or Jill on Facebook.
Yeah, that's right. So, so it's a good point. Sometimes when we get a pup, we've got lots of exciting things planned, but sometimes the pup doesn't want to do that or doesn't like it. Or, as you say, it takes a little bit longer. So sometimes, we've got that sort of a comparison as well. So that's an interesting one too.
Yeah. Is there anything else you want to talk about with comparison?
No, I think people just need to think of the dog that's in front of them, and enjoy them, and think about the good things. Like, don't always think about the it didn't do this and my other dog did.
Yeah.
You know, maybe go, well, it does this and my other dog didn't. So try to think some of those good things. Be positive.
You can probably guarantee that whoever's dog, if you're comparing your dog to the dog that walks past the house every day nicely on the lead, and I'm like, oh, I wish I could have a loose lead walk, they probably wish they could leave the dog at home.
Yeah.
And not, and not have separation anxiety issues. Or they probably wish that, it came back and could go off the lead. Like, you don't know what the experience the other dog's having just because they're doing something fantastically that you think you want.
That's exactly right. And sometimes, you might see a dog and it's just trotting along off lead with its owner along the beach, and you think, oh, gee, wish my dog would do that. But, it might have had a bad experience. It might be a bit scared and doesn't want to leave its owner. So, that's something, a good point to bring up, and a good point for people to think about too, I think, that you don't know what the other dog's experiences are and if they're coping with different things at home that you don't see.
Yeah, because no dog's perfect.
No. Well, our own dogs should be perfect to us, but not perfect that way. I think that's about it.
I think so.
Have you got anything else that
people
should take away?
No, I just think maybe if you think you catch yourself comparing your dog to someone else's, try and think of 3 positive things about your dog.
Yeah, that'd be a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think it's definitely, we always see the negative things that they're thinking about. I don't know actually that I can't think of anyone that said something positive that their dog does that their other dog didn't.
Oh, look, not off the top of my head. There definitely would have been, there definitely would people say that to us. We can't say that they don't. It would just be that usually they're here, they're coming to us because, they've
got issues. But, that's a good one. 3 positive things.
Yep.
Keep it positive, definitely. Okay, if you enjoyed this episode, give us a 5-star review. Don't forget to follow us. Have a look at our online presence. We've got a shop with lots of interesting things to purchase. Our Real Life Ready framework is out there. Go and have a look. And we will see you in the next episode.